Good morning, everyone. It's Pedro Burge from Sydney, Australia. It is Niners DNA, day 5 of training, wrapped up probably 6 or 7 hours ago. Pads are on, first fight, good to hear. And I hear that, when I say good to hear, I mean it, the boys are passionate. That's the most important thing. And Dwan Jennings involved, Quantrez Knight, offense versus defense. It's what happens when the pads come on. And so on today's show, you can see beside me, I've got some stat line numbers. I'll just make that bigger for you. This is Mayoko. And so what I wanted to do, obviously, this is the reactions to the reactions. And Mayoko, I think, is probably a good standard or level or denominator as to the stat lines of the quarterback. So he has Brock Purdy at 12 of 16 with an interception. Trey Lance, 9 of 11. There is talk of 10 of 11 because of an miscommunication with Jordan Mason. Sam Darnold, again, strong, 7 of 9. And Brandon Allen, 1 of 3. Heard an interesting thing that our man Johnny Chapman said that he said on his channel that he wouldn't be giving Brandon Allen any snaps. So very much in agreement with a couple of content creators out there today. So today we have on the show our reactions to look at for the first time Jack Hammer. We're going to have a look at Haberman and Middlekauf, David Lombardi, Grant Cohn, and Jesse Naylor for the first time. So, and the one thing I wanted to go through with David Lombardi is a lot of people think he's biased towards Brock Purdy. I'm finding him to be pretty balanced. And there is a take here that I'm going to show you that proves that. But first of all, let's go to Jack Hammer, who is a content creator over there. And he has a little thing to say here about the, obviously, day 5. And he says this. Just give me one sec. We'll get him in here. We'll make that bigger, get rid of me, and let's have a listen.
Now, during those move the ball periods, during those sessions.
Sorry, context, talking about Brock Purdy, and I wanted to give you an indication of his take on Brock Purdy during the move the ball sessions, which is more like a traditional quarterback play that would happen on an NFL game, happen within an NFL fixture.
Brock Purdy was 6 of 7. Well, 6 of 6 actually, because the one incompletion was when Purdy went deep to Brandon Ayuk down the left sideline. Deommodore Lenoir interfered with him, and it led to a pass interference on the defensive back for a long gain for the 49ers offense. So overall, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things today, the fact that he was able to go 6 of 6 to end the day, moving the team down the field against the 49ers first team defense, that is a good sign for where Brock Purdy is right now. So we'll leave it at that. But
we'll leave Jack there a little bit stunned, not stunned, but stumbling. It is hard to do this live, as you can tell sometimes with me fiddling around with the things, the screens to share. So you can hear that Jack has a pretty good opinion of Brock Purdy. A lot of people do say that he's biased again with Brock, but he does say that Trey had a day. And I'm going to put the links, as you know, into the description of all these content creators giving their reactions to day 5 of the padded practice. So you'll get to see the full version and pick and make your own opinion. So the next one we're going to go with is Mr. Jesse Naylor. And so before this, he talks about Javon Kinlaw having a great day. He talks about Spencer Burford not having the best day. But now we're getting onto the quarterbacks for him. So let's share this one instead. And I'm going to go with, he does say that Lance was the best quarterback on the day, but again, people saying that he is biased towards Trey Lance. Let's hear what he has to say about Brock Purdy, which I hope I've lined up right.
All right, let's get into quarterback. So Brock Purdy was back today. Good to see him. First day of pads. Started out a little bit rough. He did end up 9 of 12. He had a passing touchdown, an interception, a fumble, and 3 sacks.
3 sacks. hard to say when they're not sacking or touching the quarterback.
His worst throw of the day actually wasn't even the interception. He short hopped a wide open Warner over the middle of the field. Definitely one that he wanted to have back. He started out
Bad audio.
Struggling, and then he ended really well overall. Most of his completions were towards the tail end of practice. He did fumble on the last play during the move the ball.
So that's pretty consistent with Jack Hammer, right? And you would say that with the content creators, with people's perceptions, that people would say, well, Jesse Naylor is all about Trey Lance. And here you can say that, as you can see coming out of his mouth, he's praising Brock Purdy.
Periods. His best throw of the day was to CMC. It was about a 20-yard air yard completion, and then CMC dusted everyone anywhere in his vicinity and took it back for a touchdown. About 30 or so yards he ran after the catch. Very, very good play. Good job by Purdy to lead him up the field so that he had room to run. Just a good throw overall. So Brock Purdy didn't have the best day by any means, but I would say that overall, outside of a couple plays where things got squirrely with his arm, I think the arm strength was there. I didn't really have an...
See, again, great. I think a fair, balanced view of what Brock Purdy did today. Again, I'm in Sydney, Australia, over there. So just trying to put a stop to, well, get people to have a think about some of the opinions they are forming about these content creators and where their biases lie. So let's go with our man, Mr. Grant Cohn, probably my favorite because he's just an entertainer. He's going to talk about Trey and Brock.
Really the shakiest quarterback on the field.
Sorry. I gotta reconvene there. So he's talked about Trey having a great day. He's talking about Sam Darnold having a great day. You'll be able to see that. But he does. If we think about the adjectives he used, shakiest, you can hear. Let's hear what he has to say. I'll shut up.
Back on the field was Brock Purdy. 10 of 14, good numbers, threw a pick. Really struggled if it wasn't over the middle or short. He had a throw to George Kittle on a deep out, one hopped it. Kyle came back to it in the next play. This time, Dre Greenlaw drops into zone coverage right at that spot. Purdy muscles up, throws it blind, doesn't see it, pick. Later on, throws deep to Brandon Ayuk, who has like 3 steps on Diamador Lenore, hangs the pass in the air. Lenore recovers. Pass interference. Should have been a touchdown. And so that's Brock. You know who he is. He's just a little bit more limited than last year because he's working back from this injury. What's crazy, though, his final throw of the day. He drops back. Cleveland Farrell breaks through the line and hits Purdy's arm as he's throwing.
So let's stop there. So the last thing is the most concerning. If I was Kyle Shanahan, I would get him off the team. He's gone. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. He's gone near the quarterback once. See ya, pal. But let's go back to what Grant was saying. Shaky, one hopped. He was talking about it being, that the 2 passes were in a row. So again, look, let's not take this out of context in terms of some of the good things that he does say about Brock. But he did say, that's Brock. He's coming back and stuff. And so, yeah, just an indication there that there probably is some bias towards Trey Lance as the athlete being a somewhat better option to for the 49ers. So remains to be seen. Let's wait till the bullets start flying. Our next man that will go
the surgically repaired arm with the surgically repaired elbow. Cleveland Farrell hits it.
That's what he said. Let's go now to one thing that. So Haberman and Middlekauf are back together again. Haberman's moved to Arizona. I don't know where. Obviously, no one's going to know that. But one thing we'll say is that Haberman has a very clear opinion of who's going to be quarterback 2.
Because part of it was there was a lot of buzz about Kyle Sneaky like Brandon Allen, which, as you see. Now, the one thing is, and the way this quarterback situation plays out, if Sam Darnold beats out Trey Lance, which I expect to happen, the Trey Lance situation of having a 3rd-string quarterback, which you would keep 3, and he even said once you have a situation like we went through last year, your experiences shape the way you think, especially when it's that fresh.
So that, I'll just interrupt you now. That talks to my comment on day 3 that the premonition that the 49ers might be feeling, might be making, might be thinking too much about is that, the fact that their O-line is not good enough and the quarterbacks will get hit and therefore injured. He is saying that their experience is shaping their decision-making, which is not a bad point.
He would be easily, I don't know how many teams will ultimately pick, to have 3 quarterbacks on their 53-man. Because I thought Kyle did a good job with Kawakami. It's not, you don't just keep 3 quarterbacks. Like, you got to have, part of the reason we did it last year is because we really like Brock Purdy. If we hadn't of liked them and we just had 2, we just would have kept 2, right? It's like, you don't just, a lot of teams just keep them on the practice squad, which you hope can kind of be what Skylar Thompson kind of became, right? And I don't know if Skylar made the roster.
Okay, so the reason I put that up is that there is Haberman Middlekauf, John there is making the prediction that Trey Lance is going to get beaten out by Sam Darnold. I like that he's got an opinion. He's not sitting on the fence, and he is going off. I don't think he's getting to practice because of now as to where he lives, but the intel that he's getting from his friends in the media and obviously Guy, who's going to training camp, is leading him to think that Sam Darnold is the person to be QB2 on the 49ers. And with Darnold putting 2 days back to back, it's a good thing for Sam. But again, pads are on for the first time. It's practice. Let's wait until the games start happening. And the proof, again, that I keep coming back to is we've got 4 years of proof of Sam Darnold. He is not a QB1. We don't know that Trey Lance is a QB1 as yet. Is it the fact that Sam Darnold has come to a team called the San Francisco 49ers with a play caller like Kyle Shanahan to put him in a position to play better? So, yeah, let's go on to the last one, which I wanted to share, which was our man, let's stop sharing that one, is our man David Lombardi. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, again, a lot of people saying that David is very biased towards can't even think, Brock Purdy. But when you hear this, you will see that that is not the fact. He uses the same verbiage, the same adjectives to describe the bad couple of passes that Brock had, as the way he would explain the other quarterbacks in their passing displays for that day.
Brock Purdy threw an interception today to Dre Greenlaw that was really ugly, which followed a bounced throw to Charlie Werner, who was about 15 to 20 yards downfield. So for a 2-throw stretch, Brock Purdy was, just floating up some bad passes. But that was the only really poor 2-throw stretch of the afternoon for Brock Purdy. I had him at 12 or 13 of 16 on the entire practice, and there was a string of several straight completions. Even threw a long touchdown to Christian McCaffrey, who just burned the defense. So that was something that was very, very explosive for the 49ers. And Sam Darnold was 7 of 9. So you saw the 49ers quarterbacks the past 2 days really up the completion percentage. I think that the offense is starting to hit some of its stride. Again, today was the first padded practice. The offensive line had a chance to defend itself, maybe create a little bit more time for QBs. There was a little bit of a scary moment late where Cleveland.
Okay, so he talks about the hit of Purdy there by, I'll call him the idiot. Probably not the nicest thing in the world. But so, as you can see, David is giving his opinion on the play from Brock, and he was consistent with what Jack Hammer said, what Jesse Naylor said in regard to how Brock bounced back, and which is a great thing. That's the thing with Brock, right? And I talked about this in my earlier videos. For this season, 2023, is Brock's poise. He's a goldfish player, as I like to call them. They have a memory like a goldfish. Do something wrong, do something bad, make a mistake, forget it, put it in the past. Let's move forward. Let's make the next play. Let's move the chains. All right, that's it for today. I will stop sharing this little bad boy so you can see my somewhat, let's say, handsome face. My mum would say that. God bless her. She's up in heaven at the moment. So I will, and she will stay there. I'll see you tomorrow. That is day 5 in the bag, the first day of padded practice for the 49ers. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.